graphing one inequality first. Then we'll do multiple inequalities, which is systems of inequalities. Okay. The first thing we want to do is let's look at an inequality. Here they give us the inequality 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 5. And we want to make sure that we understand that a point can or cannot be a solution to this inequality. Um, so they give us the point 0, comma 2, 1. Now remember, this is an x and a y coordinate, right? So we're going to take our inequality, 2x plus 3y, and we're going to substitute in this x for there and this y for this. Huh? In your note packets?
Not in mine.
The last page.
It should be. We skipped it, yeah. Okay, so we're going to plug in 0 for our x and 1 for the y. Then we ask ourselves, well, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 times 1 is 3. We ask ourselves, is 0 plus 3 greater than or equal to 5? No. So this is not, this ordered pair is not a solution. No. Not a solution. No. No, I say. No. Just like my students playing with their cell phones. Right, Mo?
Yes.
Okay, so I have the inequality 2. I'm going to substitute in a value for x plus 3. Substitute a value in for y. That was sarcasm, just in case you didn't get it.
But it's true.
It's greater than or equal to 5. Substitute in the value 4 for x, negative 1 for y. 2 times 4 is positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Is that greater than or equal to 5? Yes, it's equal to 5. So yes, this is a solution of the inequality. And then the last one. Huh? I know, it's so easy. Don't you wish the whole lesson would be like this? Math is like really mean doing that to you guys, isn't it? They start off really easy and then you have no clue what they're doing by the end of the worksheet. All right, 2 for x, 1 for y. Let's see, is 4 plus 3 greater than or equal to 5?
No.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Pretty easy. All right, so let's look at how to graph these inequalities. Whoa.
Man, I didn't say I want to do it.
Huh?
I said it was easy up there. Now you make it hard.
Of course I am.
I
You know me. I don't make your lives any easier. I'm a math teacher.
know.
All right.
You grade our test yet?
Nah, I don't know. This is the only class I haven't graded
Why?
because it's last.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get my grade up.
You can just don't put mine in this class.
What?
Okay, number 4. Oh, wait, we have a process in how to graph these inequalities. Okay. First and foremost, you must put it in slope-intercept form. Okay. So that's step 1. If it's not in slope-intercept form, you must put it in slope-intercept form. Step 2. If you have a less than and a greater than symbol and or a greater than symbol, well, that's poorly worded. You are going to use a dashed line.
Oh, not this.
Yes, this stuff. You're going to use a dashed line for the boundary line. And if you have a less than or equal to and or a greater than or equal to symbol, you're going to go ahead and use a solid line for the boundary line. So that's step 2. Step 3, the areas that the solution is going to work in, like we did up here, we picked numbers. Where those areas are is going to be the shaded area, and you're going to shade above the line for the greater than or greater than equal symbol, and below for the less than, below the line for the less than or equal symbols. So there's your process. Now we're going to do some fairly easy inequalities. We're going to graph them. Yeah. So when I'm looking at the line y is less than -2, actually, if it helps, put an equal sign in there to graph the line. Okay. What is the line y equals -2? What kind of line do I have?
Vertical.
That's right, horizontal. If you can't remember which one's horizontal and which one's vertical, pick some points. Pick 3 points. Okay. The y is always -2. And just pick some points for x. I don't know, 0, 3, -3 maybe. Plot them. 0, -2, 3, -2, -3, -2. Notice what kind of line I have? It's going to be horizontal, right?
Yeah.
And then we have to figure out, well, is it a solid line or a dashed line? What is it? A dashed. Just like you said. A dashed line because there is no equal sign with the inequality. Okay. Do I shade above or below? Below because it's a less than, and it says below when I have a less than symbol. I'm going to shade below. Easy peasy, right?
I hate graphs.
I think you and a lot of people hate graphs. Um, what about x equal 1? What kind of line do I have there? Vertical. Good. And it is going to be solid because
I have a question. Because it's got a greater than equal sign.
this is a less than or equal sign.
No, there's a question. I have a question.
What?
On the other one.
On the other one.
Yeah. So is there not a point on -2? For the y.
Correct. The point -2 is not a
Oh,
solution
I'm
to.
tweaking. I was on the x.
Okay.
Wait.
But to make a point, that point -2 is not a solution to that inequality, right?
Right.
Because there's no equal sign there. The number has to be less than -2. So the point -2 itself is not a solution to that. That's why you have a dashed line, because it does not include that point -2. Actually, good question.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
But where'd you, I'm going down. Where'd you get those other numbers?
I picked them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the y was -2. I just picked some x's just to like help me draw the line.
I get it now.
Okay. Well, good question. Boy, you are on top of things. Hang on, let me draw my line.
One. X.
And we get a vertical line, and you ask me, well, it's less than, so I should shade below, right? Well, in mathematics, we have those exceptions. This works, except with a vertical line. So, what you're going to do is, as long as the variable is on the left hand side, you're going to shade in the direction of the arrow. Or the mathematical way of doing it is to pick an x value that's to the left of the line. I always like to pick the point 0, x equals 0. Plug it in there for x. Is 0 less than or equal to 1? Yes, it is. So I know that this is part of the solution. But non-mathematical shortcut way, just look at the sign.
So you don't have to do the equation part.
You mean the solution part?
Say what?
The equation part is the line itself.
Huh?
The equation part is like the line itself. When I substitute an equal sign in there, that's to help me graph the line.
I don't get what you're putting down.
I don't get what you're asking me.
You didn't do a. You don't have to do all that. You just say it. So I just have to put a dot where that number is.
Well, again, it's just to help me draw the line. You don't have to put points on there.
So,
But
so if it was -1, you would shade to the right. Right?
yeah, if this was -1,
So,
You shade to the opposite side of the blue.
huh? But that's only for vertical line.
that's only for a vertical line.
If it's going up and down,
If it's going,
points on the right, you shade it to the left.
Yeah.
Left, you shade it to the right.
I think that's you're saying it's all the direction of this inequality.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this sign can be any sign. It could be negative, it could be positive. Just shade when it's a vertical line only. Shade in the direction of the arrow. All other lines, they're not going to be vertical. Every other line in the world is not going to be vertical. It's going to have some kind of angle to it, and that's where you use the above. If it, huh?
Number 4 don't have an angle.
Well, it's a 0 angle because we're back to a horizontal line at 4, right? So I got a horizontal line at y equal 4. It's dashed because there's no equal sign.
Oh, I didn't even know there was any dashes. I thought it was.
Okay.
What is number 5? Is a straight line.
That's a solid line.
Okay, so
What's
you
number-
put,
Number 4 is that.
It's dash.
I'm not even racing.
wait, do you only put dashes on horizontal? I can't tell.
You only put that-
Dashes when there's no equal sign.
Right?
Solid when there is an equal sign.
Oh, you say equal sign. I'm thinking
Okay, I
about
get it now.
equal sign.
An equal sign with the inequality sign.
Or-
Sorry.
that page?
No, when you say
You
equal
shade
sign, I'm
above.
thinking like
Look.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Sean.
You shade above since it's not negative.
Oh.
Huh?
You shade above.
It all depends on if it's a greater than or equal to, or if it's a less than or equal to. Okay, if it's a greater than or equal to, shade above the line. If it's a less than or equal to, shade below the line. Okay? I'm sorry if I confused you, I really am.
Let me try number 6.
I have a greater than,
Bruh.
so I'm going to shade above the line.
Why you just tell me that?
I said above.
Yeah. Okay?
Dash.
Dashed,
I'm so confused.
shade above. Yeah, there's a lot of details to this that you have to follow.
I don't remember passing this part.
You just saw your road a little bit.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, not you.
Oh,
Sorry.
all right.
Speedy right right here in front of me.
Let's do some more examples.
Yeah, 1 second.
Turn the page, as Bob Seeger would say, even though you don't know who he is.
Oh, now it's getting harder.
Yeah, now it's going to start to get just a little bit harder. This is where you guys are going to start using profanity towards me. Well, maybe not this one, but the next one. Yeah. All right, so this time it's in slope intercept form, right? So my y-intercept is -3.
Yeah.
My slope,
1/2.
1/2, good.
Oh, you don't put that.
So I'm going to put a couple of points on here so I can draw my line. -3. And I'm going to go up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Do I have a solid or dashed line?
Dash.
Dashed, good.
Okay. So up and over 2. And you should below, right?
And I'm going to shade below because it's a less than sign.
Whew.
Okay.
On the one before it, for number 7, would you shade like for the line? Would you shade like going that way further towards the negatives on the x-axis, or would it be the opposite way?
Well, let's go ahead and do it.
And over 2.
My B
Why does it look like that?
is I'm adding 0 to this, right? So my y-intercept is 0. My slope is 2/1.
No.
So I start where y equals 0. I'm going to go up 2 to the right 1. Up 2 to the right 1. Solid or dashed?
Dash.
Hold on, I'm messing up. Whoa. Why you do number 7? Whoa. We missed that whole thing. She was helping me with number 8.
Well, we're going to do more.
Well, not like that one though. How you do that?
You shade above, right?
Just get the x-intercept and your slope.
Shade below.
Draw your line.
You shade above.
So 0.
I'm going to shade below. Okay, so it's a dashed line because there's no equal sign with my inequality. It's a less than, so I'm going to shade below.
I thought you were supposed to shade towards the
If it was
negatives,
a
because it's supposed to be
gradient,
less
would
than
we
the
be
b.
shaded above?
Well, we actually are shading towards the negative. Remember, it's the y-axis, though.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
your y has to be negative.
Okay.
Okay. Should we do a harder one?
Can we not do the hardest one at all?
Are you ready for number 11? Number 11. Okay, let's see. First thing I have to do is do what?
Get the slope.
You're close.
Move 3x.
Jay said it.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
Move what?
You have to,
Y-intercept.
yeah, you have to put it in slope intercept form, right?
I was just about to say that. To move the,
I heard you actually earlier. You said get it by itself or something. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2x because I want to get the y by itself.
Can you move the paper? Right.
Oh, sorry.
Use number 11. Oh.
So I'm going to minus 2x from both sides. I have -5y is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 10. Okay. Still have to get the y by itself.
Divide it.
Divide every term by negative 5. So I get the y by itself, right?
Yep.
Now, what happens to my inequality sign?
It turns, it flips.
Yep, it flips because I divided by a negative number.
Then you get negative 2.
Yeah, you could use negative 2 over negative 5. I'm going to move my x out. And then positive 10 divided by negative 5,
Negative
2. So we are no longer using this inequality. We're using this one. What's my b?
Negative 2.
What's my slope?
Negative 2 over negative 5.
Or positive 2/5, right? Doesn't matter. We may use either one. So it crosses my y-axis at negative 2. Going to go up 2 to the right 5. Man, I need new glasses.
The solid line.
Up 2 to the right 5. Solid or dashed?
solid.
Good. Do I shade above or below? Below. So less than.
You have a worksheet on this?
Hmm?
Do you have a worksheet?
Do I have another sheet?
I said, do you have a worksheet?
I'm going to have to print one out for you for tomorrow. You guys are going to work on this all day tomorrow. Bless you, my son. You're welcome. Okay, so that's just with one inequality. Let's really have some fun here and do two inequalities at the same time.
I'm good. Actually, no. Do I have a choice?
So let's turn to the last page in your little booklet.
Are we done with this packet?
Yes, you will get a new packet on Monday. And we're gonna, since we're having so much fun, we'll just jump right into it. Let's look at number 4. We get to do this with two inequalities.
What page is it?
It's your last page. Got it? All right, so let's go ahead and they're both in slope intercept form, so we don't have to worry about that. So on the top one, my y-intercept is 2. My slope is 1 over 1. Excellent. Okay, so crosses my y-axis at 2. And I'm going to go up 1, to the right 2, up 1, to the right 2. Do I have a solid or dashed line? Dashed.
Yeah.
And do I shade up or below? Below or above? Below. Now, before you go nuts with the shading,
Oh, I know what you're gonna have to do.
what?
It's gonna be the same one, and then you have to color the whole thing with 2 colors.
I think I know what you're saying. Yep.
Yep.
Now, if you got 2 colors, that's great. But if you don't, just shade it lightly with your pencil.
You need another color? Yes. Here you go.
So that's pretty lightly.
Is that purple?
Now we're going to go ahead and graph the other line in inequality.
B equals negative.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
B is -1. Slope,
Negative 3 over 1.
awesome. Okay, so I start at -1. I'm gonna put that negative sign with the 1. So I'm gonna go up 3, to the left 1. Up 3, to the left 1. Do I have a solid or dashed line? Solid.
So become B equals -1.
Solid. Do I shade above or below? Above.
I mean, that's what I meant. I messed that all the way up.
Now, do you see where they overlap? That's my solution set. Okay.
Why are you doing that like that?
Yeah, I messed up.
They overlap in this area. That's remember these points have to work at the same time in both of these. So it's where they overlap that we have the solutions. This is my only area that works. That's a solution to this system. Okay. Only points in this shaded area that I did will work in both of these inequalities at the same time. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's do like a couple more of these. All right, number 5. Again, I have that x equal a number line. So this is going to be a vertical line at x equals 0. Well, here's x equals 0. So I'm going to draw a vertical line through that point, which also happens to be the y-axis, right? It's a solid line because there's an equal sign there. And this is that special case where I shade left or right. In this case, shade right. Okay. And then I do the same thing with the y. In fact, it's a solid line, but the y is a horizontal line where the y value is 0. So it's actually the x-axis, right? Yeah, tell me you're not having fun.
Not having fun.
Okay, shade above that line. So right now, with just these two lines, the only area that's part of my solution is this first quadrant, right?
Yep.
Okay, and the last line, or inequality, what am I going to have to do? Normally, yes, but this is inequalities. It's in standard form, so I'm going to have to change that to slope-intercept form. Remember?
So are we trying to get the y?
Yep, we're going to solve for the y.
Is that every time?
When we're working with inequalities, yes. So negative 4x or minus 4x from both sides. I have positive 3y is less than or equal to negative 4x plus 24. Okay. Then I'm going to divide by the coefficient 3 every term. So I get y is less than or equal to, because it's a positive, I don't have to flip, negative 4/3. I'm going to pull that x out so it's not confusing. Then I have a positive 24 divided by a positive 3, which is positive 8. Good. All right. Y-intercept, slope. Okay, so 8 is here. I'm going to go down 4 to the right 3. Down 4 to the right 3. Solid or dashed? Solid. Shade up or down? Above or below?
Down.
Below.
I need a third color.
Yeah. Now, if I shade below, now if you want to do the whole thing, that's fine. But the only place that all three of these intersect is this little triangle in here, right? So there's my area of solutions. Let me see. Let's just make sure there's no. Should we do one more? One. Yeah. Let's do. Let's do number 6. What? Yes.
15.
Okay. Number 6. We're going to have to change this inequality to slope-intercept form, right? So x minus y is less than or equal to 3. I want to get the y by itself, right? So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And I get negative y. I'm going to put it up here. Negative y is less than or equal to negative x plus 3. I still have to get rid of that negative 1 that's in front of the y. So I'm going to divide every term by negative 1. Okay, the negative 1's cancel. I get my y. I have to flip the sign because I'm divided by a negative number. Now remember, there's a 1 in front of there, right? So I have negative 1 over negative 1 or just 1, right? I'm going to pull the x out so it doesn't confuse me. Positive 3 divided by negative 1. Negative 3. So I'm not going to use this equation anymore. I'm going to use this one. Okay. Y-intercept. Negative 3. Slope. -3, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1. Solid or dashed? Solid. Shade the bottom or above? Above, right? Okay, the bottom one. This one's in slope intercept form, so it should be fairly easy. Y-intercept, -4. 3/1 is the slope. Okay, -4. I'm going to go up 3 to the right 1, up 3 to the right 1. I'm going to put another one in here. Solid or dashed?
Dash.
Dashed. Shade above or below? And the intersecting area? Okay. I'll have a nice little worksheet for you tomorrow.